it won't be long until Trump picks his vice president, right? The convention's over the summer. And for him to pick someone, it's got to be someone that's going to bring some newness and excitement. And I know there's a lot of people, everyone's got their favorite. Kristi Noem did this interview with Dana Bash on CNN over the weekend. I want to play this and go through it. This interview is just a beautiful interview. Kristi Noem is awesome. Dana Bash brought her on to bash Trump, and Kristi Noem stood her ground, and it was very good. And, you know, whoever President Trump picks, there's two things that are important. There needs to be something new to it to bring some excitement about it, but also loyalty. And, you know, Vivek, I know a lot of people say Vivek. One, I don't, you still got that Soros connection. You always got to worry about.
Yeah.
And the other thing with him is I feel like he's overexposed. He's not exciting to me now. Oh, wow, you know, Vivek.
No, it's not going to be Vivek because you don't even hear about him anymore. His moment in the sun is gone.
He's kind of faded.
Yeah.
Now, he'll probably speak at the convention and have a little bit of a comeback, but he's still
I think Trump might make him like the Secretary of
Commerce or Business Administration.
That guy that was married to the movie star, the actress.
The Treasury Secretary?
The Treasury.
I cannot
do you think
imagine.
He would do that?
No, that's too big of a job for Vivek Ramaswamy.
What other positions are there that have to do with like business?
I don't know.
Or?
He could be the head of the Small Business Association like McMahon's wife was. I don't know. But listen, whoever Trump picks, he picks, and we'll accept it and like it. But Kristi Noem over the weekend was on CNN, and Dana Bash had her on, as I said, to bash Trump about this trial with this crooked judge in New York. And Kristi Noem just did a spectacular job. I mean, let's go through this interview. It's really good. When I woke up this morning, she was trending on Twitter. Oh, and people who keep saying XXX. Elon Musk over the weekend put out a tweet. There's still tweets, right? He said, do you call it Twitter or X? And he threw that out there, and I read through the comments, and a lot of people still said Twitter. I responded. I said I call it both, mostly Twitter. Sometimes I call it X because of peer pressure, but I like Twitter. But anyway, let's get to this.
That was a mistake to change it.
So Kristi Noem was trending on Twitter this morning, and it was because of this interview. She did really good. So let's go through it. Brilliant.
Donald Trump supporter and potential vice presidential pick, South Dakota Republican Governor Kristi Noem. Governor, thank you so much for joining us. I should say you have a new book coming out on May 7th that is called No Going Back. Governor, I want to start with the opening arguments, which are expected to begin tomorrow. The defense and prosecution went back and forth all week, weeding out jurors. Now, this case is in the hands of the justice system. Should Donald Trump accept whatever verdict the jury renders in this case?
You know, this is insane to me. First off, it is not in the hands of the justice system. This case is in the hands of an injustice system with a crooked judge, a crooked prosecutor, a liberal jury that's already decided how they're going to go for the most part, without a doubt. And I like this new question. Will he accept whatever? He's supposed to, if they convict him, not go through a appeal. I'd like to ask Dana Bash if she'll accept the decision when he's finally acquitted with this crap. How many times has Trump been acquitted in different investigations? And Dana Bash, she won't accept it. But this new thing is, will he accept the verdict? If it's not guilty, he will. If it's guilty, no, he's gonna appeal it.
Well, you're gonna hear that question coming around October too.
That's their talking point.
Is he gonna accept the result of the election? They love to ask questions like that.
Well, no, we're not going to accept a guilty verdict. No, and you won't accept a not guilty verdict, Dana Bash.
Well, my hope is that all Americans can trust our judicial system, and that's really what this case will prove out. I think it's a little ridiculous that they've waited years to bring these types of charges against Donald Trump. If they wanted to make these kinds of charges against him, they should have done it years ago when this happened. To do it conveniently during a presidential election when he's campaigning to return to the White House, I think proves that this is all politically motivated. It's the way that Democrats are fighting these days, is using the judicial system and activist judges to do so. My hope is that the people and the jury will do what is right and hear the evidence and see clearly that this is an unprecedented trial, but it's unprecedented in how ridiculous it is.
She's kind of got that Sarah Palin accent, right? Like Fargo, Kristi Noem.
Well, these allegations happened when he was president. That is, in part, for the prosecutors, why they say that the allegations happened while he was president. He allegedly made the payment while in the Oval Office. But let's focus on the specifics of the case. Prosecutors allege Donald Trump falsified business records to hide hush money payments weeks before the 2016 election.
Okay. Now, first of all, this hush money thing, the statute of limitations is up on these charges, by the way. They're federal charges, and they have these expired charges past the statute of limitations that are federal charges in a state court, which is not legal. But the hush money, when you are being blackmailed, when someone is extorting money from you, you are not committing a crime if you pay a blackmailer. The one committing the crime is the one saying, pay me money or I'm going to destroy you. That's extortion.
I thought she was paid before he became president.
Some of this has to do with this Inquirer lady. Okay. But no, Stormy Daniels is what the main thing's about. You don't charge the victims, and the people that do the payoffs are victims. It's like when David Letterman was having an affair with a married woman, that woman he was having sex with on set in that bedroom he set up. What a creep he is.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to think he was cool. I didn't realize what a sleazeball he was, David Letterman. But the husband came to him and tried to do a shakedown. Pay me money or I'm going to go to the press. Letterman and his team, they called the police, and the police did a sting. They set him up. They wired up David Letterman's office. The guy came to Letterman's office.
So why didn't Trump do that?
Went and he got arrested. They won't let Trump do that.
But when this all came out, maybe he should have handled it that way. I don't think instead of just paying her off.
I think Trump found out about Stormy Daniels about the same time all of us did. I think that Michael Cohen did all this stuff behind the scenes, put in an expense report.
Well, he clearly lied. Remember, Trump did say that I was just paying for services rendered. I did not know. So I think Michael Cohen, did a shakedown, a little embezzlement, whatever you want to call it, and lied to Trump. And I think him and Stormy Daniels cooked up this whole thing.
And I'll tell you, in this interview, Dana Bash, she doesn't sound well. She sounds very flustered. She's not happy with the way things are going. Let's get back to it. So this is Dana Bash on CNN interviewing Kristi Noem over the weekend.
He violated both state, tax, and federal campaign finance laws. So are you saying that even if that's true,
allegedly,
he shouldn't have been charged and that he's above the law?
What I'm saying is that these prosecutors are using someone whose testimony has been proven to be a liar. Michael Cohen has lied before Congress multiple times. Exactly. That's their main witness. I would say that he certainly is not someone who can be trusted to do the right thing during this jury trial. They're also using a woman's testimony who signed a letter saying that this affair did not happen, that she has testified in the past that this never occurred. And so now they're going forward with a case built on that and saying that because Donald Trump paid his legal bills, that now he can be prosecuted for some.
See, now that's interesting. See, Kristi Noem is what she said, what we're talking about.
Right.
He put in his, Michael Cohen billed him.
Right.
It includes expenses, and he paid him. It didn't say hush money expense.
It said legal services rendered.
Exactly. And
you know how many lawyers he has? I mean, he has a lot now, but he had a lot then too.
And I know it seems like a lot of money, and it is, but not if you're Donald Trump. This is the kind of, so
exactly.
So what happened is Michael Cohen buried it in his billing.
That's right, and he got busted.
Exactly.
And I think he and Stormy Daniels were a couple, and they took this money, and then I think they had this backup story. I almost think that Michael Cohen set up for Trump to meet her. Mm-hmm. I mean, why was she at a Trump event? She's a scummy girl. Why was she there? I think Michael Cohen got her in and had her go there and had her take a picture with him. And I think they set him up all along.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Thing that even the person that alleged it happened is saying did not happen. So that's what is so shocking to me, I guess, Dana, is that when I'm walking around this state and talking to people across the country, they don't even know which trial this is. They're like, I don't remember which one this is about. Is this the one they're coming after him for this or this? What they really care about is that they're trying to figure out how to pay their gas bill. They're trying to figure out how to pay their electricity and put food on the table for their kids. And they want a president back in the White House that puts America first.
Exactly.
That decides that Americans should be a priority and not let an invasion like we have happening at the southern border continue to happen, that they really care about the citizens that are here in the United States.
Governor, I just want to push on this question of what actually happened, because Donald Trump himself acknowledged in 2018 that he authorized payments to Stormy Daniels and reimbursed Michael Cohen. We actually have the reimbursement checks to Cohen signed by Donald Trump. So those are the facts.
Okay. Now, this is Michael Cohen bearing things in his billing and expenses. It doesn't say hush money for Stormy Daniels.
But did Trump ever admit that he knew she had made these allegations and that he knew what the money was for?
No. In fact, Trump said this the other day outside the courtroom to the press. Michael Cohen, he just billed him generically for his legal services and expenses.
Are you comfortable with this?
Michael Cohen worked for President Trump. President Trump paid his legal fees.
See?
He paid his Michael Cohen legal fees and bills, and that's what this trial will bring forward, hopefully, is the truth. What a ridiculous case that this is, and that it's based on the narrative today that is coming from a man who is proven to be a liar. So I'm hoping that this judge makes the right decision. I'm hoping these jurors can come in and be unbiased, and we'll let this case go forward in a swift manner that allows President Trump to get back on the campaign trail. Americans deserve to hear from their candidates, and the Democrats and the activists are using this trial to derail him, to keep him in court instead of out talking to Americans about what their real concerns are. And their real concerns are their everyday lives. They need a leader in the White House who gets up every day and puts them first and doesn't raise their taxes, doesn't overregulate them, take away their freedoms, and give all our money to other countries instead of making sure that we're taking care of America first and keeping us safe and secure.
I just want to say for the record, there's absolutely no evidence that President Biden is involved in this. This is
oh my goodness, what a bunch! There's no evidence that Biden's involved in. He's all over this.
Give me a break.
Oh, there's no evidence. Oh.
And if you ever, if you don't think CNN is an arm of the Democratic Party, there's your proof.
Yeah,
right
the C
there.
is for CIA.
The case that is being brought in the state of New York by the.
Meanwhile, there's no proof of Kristi Noem should have said to her, well, there's no proof of what you're accusing Trump of doing, but you go ahead and act like he did it. He hasn't been proven guilty.
Exactly.
That's what I think is remarkable, is that if you look at President Biden and what he's done and what his son has done, and the fact that they are not being prosecuted for their crimes.
Look at Dana Bash panicking.
Kind of unprecedented.
That has nothing to do with this. So my question is
completely different. Yeah, we have a judicial system right now that's being used against certain members of certain parties.
My other point that I want to make, Governor, is
to have a two.
Dana's
you
panicking.
mentioned that he's paying his legal fees to Michael Cohen. One of the things that they are going to talk about in this trial is the fact that it wasn't just a retainer. It was actually a payment to Michael Cohen because Michael Cohen put the money out for Stormy Daniels on his own. But
he didn't put it. He didn't put in his expense report money for Stormy Daniels' hush payment. It was just buried in as a generic expense. So Trump did not know that it was the money for that. Everybody knows this. And, Dana Bash, who doesn't sound too well here, and Kristi Noem, who's very calm, cool, and collected, didn't lose her cool.
Dana's getting hysterical.
Dana Bash is not going to want to talk to Kristi Noem again. She just got her clock clean. And, but the reason Dana Bash is so hostile to this, because in her world, everybody hates Trump. He's a criminal. He's got to be brought down.
Well, plus I think there's a fear. She works for the deep state, and she
sure does.
And let me I promise you, if there's an interview like this and they don't handle it the way they're supposed to, they're going to get a phone call from the White House.
Oh, yeah.
And she's probably very nervous about getting that phone call from Biden or somebody on his team saying, you effed that up. You didn't handle it well. You should have said this. You should have said that. And believe me, that happens all the time.
I think Kristi Noem is doing spectacular here.
She's doing very well.
She is
the way to
very good.
handle things when you're in interviews like that is what she's doing is to stay calm and cool and not get rattled. And that's hard to do. But Dana's questions are clearly have a goal in mind. She's not looking for the truth. She is looking for a soundbite. She is looking for Kristi Noem to throw Trump under the bus.
Yeah.
And to make her look bad because she knows that she's being considered for VP. And she's just trying to jam her up and have her say something.
Dana's the one that got jammed up.
That they can go with.
Absolutely.
Big picture, Governor, if Donald Trump is convicted in this trial, will you still support him in November?
Hell yeah. You know, I mean, you got a crooked judge, a crooked prosecutor, and a liberal jury.
If my choice is between Joe Biden and Donald Trump every single day of the week, yes, I will support Donald Trump. I have from the very beginning. He has been someone that I have supported since 2016 because I recognized that he didn't think he was better than anybody else in this country. He wanted to go run for this office so he could serve the people here and fight for them every single day. And you know what? He's one of the few.
Okay, now that dead air, the mic just went dead. Kristi Noem's mic just went dead.
Oh, my gosh.
Dana Bash is getting so destroyed here.
I told you that's
that
what happened.
All of a sudden, there's technical problems.
The red phone went off.
Exactly. I'm going to rewind it just
they got the red phone going off.
About 20 seconds.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, there's technical problems when Dana Bash is getting her clock clean.
See, that's what I told you. When they're not doing, it's like in real time, when they're not doing a good job, they intervene.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, they got that red phone line. If you're older like we are, you know what I'm talking about? Directly from the White House. I promise you, somebody called the director or whoever's in charge of the control room and said, this is a bloodbath. You got to stop it.
Okay, now I rewound it a little bit.
I will support Donald Trump. I have from the very beginning. He has been someone that I have supported since 2016 because I recognized that he didn't think he was better than anybody else in this country. He wanted to go run for this office so he could serve the people here and fight for them every single day. And you know what? He's one of the few.
See? Dead air.
It looks like
by outside noise and judicial system and cases and lawsuits that come that are being used to weaponize our judicial system against him. I'm focused on what he did when he was in the White House. And when he was in the White House, every single day as governor, I got to be on offense. I got to solve problems. And since Joe Biden has been in the White House, I just have to defend the freedoms of my people in South Dakota. I'm every day trying to push back on what this federal government is trying to do by increasing costs for the everyday families that get up every day and go to work. So yes, Donald Trump should be back in that White House. I'm going to do all I can to help him win. And Dana, I've run 11 campaigns and I've won them all. I don't know how to lose. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I help Donald Trump win again.
Okay, Governor, I want to turn to the issue of abortion.
Oh boy. Okay, so she's given up on Trump, and now they're going to go after abortion. Boy, Dana Bash was not feeling good here. You can see it in her face.
Well, that tells me what Kristi Noem just said there, that she definitely wants to be the vice president. I mean, she said she's run 11 campaigns and she's never lost. That was directly to tell Trump. She threw that in there because we know Trump doesn't like losers.
You know, we watched this interview,
and I'm telling you, I think this interview right here could cinch her place in that spot. And I think it'd be a good pick. I really do.
I think she's doing great here, and I like the loyalty. I like how calm she is.
She's one of my top 3 picks.
You know. And I like how she filleted Dana Bash. She's not even in studio. She's like remote somewhere, and she just hijacked CNN, Kristi Noem, and took it over.
Yeah.
Let's see what she does with I didn't listen further than this, but let's see what they say about abortion. I'm curious to see how she handles that, Kristi Noem.
I've run 11 campaigns and I've won them all. I don't know how to lose. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I help Donald Trump win again.
You know, she's been governor a long time. She was governor when Obama was president because I remember Obama shut down the roads that went by Mount Rushmore during the government shutdown.
So is there not like a limit on?
I don't. Well, maybe that was her first term. I don't know.
Was she a congressman before that?
She's been in government there for a long time. Yeah, I mean different offices, but I like that. 7 elections. She doesn't know how to lose. That's what
11.
we need. 11.
I think 11? She said 11.
She said 11, not 7.
I think it was 11.
I think she said whatever it was, 7 or 11. That's a lot.
7-11.
That's a lot. Either if it's 7 or 11, it's a lot. But I want to hear what she says about abortion, though. I have not listened to this part of the segment,
right?
But I'm curious to see what Kristi Noem says about that.
Governor, I want to turn to the issue of abortion. Donald Trump now says that even if Congress were able to pass a federal abortion ban, he wouldn't sign it, and it should be handled by the states. When you were in the House, you co-sponsored legislation multiple times to ban abortion at the federal level. Now you also say that it is a state issue. What changed for you?
Well, the environment changed when Roe v. Wade was overturned. That returned the power back to the states, which is appropriate, and Donald Trump is exactly right. Every state's laws will look different based on what the people in those states want to be their law when it comes to abortion. And we should be focusing on these women that are in crisis, and they're in unprecedented situations, and they need help and support and all the information that they can possibly have. So my state's laws may look different than what's going on in California or Arizona or New York, and I think that's entirely appropriate. I may be pro-life, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a dictator and that I get to decide that. Donald Trump recognizes the constitutional authority of the states, and I love that. I love that we have somebody running for president who actually follows our Constitution and recognizes on this issue that having that decision made at the state level is the appropriate decision.
That was a great answer.
Well, yeah, and
that is constitutional.
Now, I want to tell people before we play the rest of this, because this is really good.
Yeah,
this is really good. I want to tell people though before we play the rest of this interview with Kristi Noem by Dana Bash that the sales continue at mypillow.com. Huge sales with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And remember, when you buy things from mypillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You're supporting this program and all my content, the podcast, the radio show, my YouTube channel. It's a great way to support all of the content I bring you and at the same time get these great products.
Yeah, and now, support Mike Lindell.
That's right. And the spring sale continues. There are huge savings on some of the most popular MyPillow products. You can use our promo code Kane on all the specials at mypillow.com, not just the ones I highlight. But I'm always telling people about the MyPillow mattress topper, which is 50% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Kathy and I have been sleeping on the MyPillow mattress toppers since they've been made available, okay? And you that have been listening to us for a long time have heard me talk about our first night sleeping on it. We got it on a Saturday. We slept on it that night. I woke up Sunday, and it was the first Sunday I'd woken up in years where the sun was out. I slept the whole night through. And during the week now, I wake up when the alarm wakes me up. You will get a well-rested night's sleep on the MyPillow mattress topper like you have never had before. It will change your life. Mattresses are expensive. They cost as much as cars I've had. They're so ridiculously expensive. If you have an old mattress, if it's lumpy, if it's bumpy, if it's caved in on one side, get the MyPillow mattress topper. 50% off with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and it comes in every mattress size. We have a queen in our master bedroom. In our guest room, we have, is that a twin?
A twin, yeah.
We have a twin. We have the mattress topper on the guest bed. And the reason we have it on the guest bed is so when people come over, they have a great experience. You don't want people sleeping on your bed and then leaving and then telling everyone how uncomfortable it was. We also got a mattress topper for our daughter in California and for her sofa bed because sofa beds are, they're awful. But you can get the MyPillow mattress topper on the sofa bed and it turns it into just an incredible bed. So it's 50% off for the mattress topper with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. But you can use our promo code on all the specials at mypillow.com. So go there right now, mypillow.com. Promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. All right, so let's get back to this Kristi Noem Dana Bash interview. I had no intention on playing this whole interview, and this is like the best interview I've ever heard.
It's good.
This thing about Roe v. Wade, and what she gave the perfect answer, Kristi Noem. The Republican Party position never was to outlaw abortion. That's something that liberals have convinced people of. The Republican Party position was always overturn Roe v. Wade. What Roe v. Wade did was stop the states from regulating it, abortion.
Right.
And Republicans always said overturn Roe v. Wade and leave it up to the states.
Right, not federal.
Yeah, because different states have different political ideologies and feelings about it.
That's exactly right.
And when you hear Kristi Noem or Donald Trump or anyone say, okay, and this, if Mississippi wants to do this and California wants to do that, that's the way it is.
That puts it more in the hands of the people because you go to some states in the South, like North Carolina or, like you said, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, whatever. That's like the Bible Belt. And they might feel differently about that issue. And it's up to them to decide. When you have these laws like that are federal, it gives the people less power, and it's better to have it more localized. And that's really the way, like Kristi Noem said, that is the way the government was set up originally. But the federal government has become so big, and the reason they've become big is they start all these federal programs like welfare and all these other things, and that's how they become big. They end up having control over your life because they have these programs. They have and then they take over the laws of certain things and make like a national thing. It's really meant more to be an issue for each state to decide.
And see,
so the people decide.
The Democrats, which Dana Bash is one of the, they have believed their own rhetoric that Republicans want to allow abortion. That has never been the Republican viewpoint. And because you want to leave it up to the states, which has been the Republican Party platform since since Roe v. Wade happened, does not mean you're not pro-life. So I think
they're really desperate to get Trump to admit that he wants a national ban on abortion.
It's not going to happen.
This is their key issue they're depending on to sway voters, and it's really falling flat because abortion is illegal in like 15 states now, which I think is a good thing. And Arizona just banned it, which I think is, they did that on purpose. But whatever the case, it is banned in 15 states. And I think now, but let me ask you this. If abortion is banned, what does that mean, though? Does that mean the abortion pill is banned or the procedure is banned?
It's different in different states.
You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think the abortion procedure is used as much as it used to be.
No.
Because young girls, there's other methods now of terminating a pregnancy very early on.
Some states are restricting the morning after pill and stuff too. It's different in each state. So let's get back to this. So let's just finish up with this. This is so compelling. Dana Bash getting her clock clean. Her clock has been completely clean. She's got to get another clock and get that one clean too.
Switch gear. They told her to switch gears.
That's when the mic went out. Is when they were talking to Dana Bash, abortion.
I think you're right.
Roe v. Wade, you got to get off of this. You're getting destroyed.
Something happened.
You're getting destroyed. So let's go. So let's finish up. Kristi Noem's just doing a great job here.
After what happened in Arizona when a civil rights era law came back and is now the law of the land there, the former president, Donald Trump, said that state law goes too far. The law in your state is similar. It's an abortion ban, including areas where a woman is raped or in times of incest. So do you believe that the law in your state goes too far, just as he said about Arizona? Are you with him on that, or do you think that he's wrong?
It's interesting because the law in my state was passed decades before I ever became governor. It was a trigger law that said when Roe v. Wade became overturned.
See how this is interesting.
Interesting.
So just rewind that a little bit.
Dana didn't do her
Dana
research.
Bash. These people in the media, they get paid millions of dollars and they're stupid.
Yeah.
So this has happened in other states too. This trigger law. They passed laws years ago. If Roe v. Wade is ever overturned,
then boom, it automatically.
But Dana Bash is trying to present it as if Kristi Noem
did it,
advocated for this thing, and Kristi Noem she's like perfect.
I think this interview is going to cinch her becoming the VP because it's really good.
Yeah. So I rewound it a little bit, and I won't interrupt this part thing because it's getting good.
It's interesting because the law in my state was passed decades before I ever became governor. It was a trigger law that said when Roe v. Wade became overturned, that this would be the law that would go into place. So that may be a topic that will continue to be discussed in South Dakota. Our law today allows an exception to save the life of the mother, but the people in South Dakota will decide what their laws look like.
What do you think?
Exactly.
I can have an opinion, and I can weigh forward, and I can look at the science and what we've learned about babies in the womb, and to believe that we should protect life. But I think that our law today is what South Dakota wants, and they'll continue to have that debate, and I'll continue to follow through in my role, which is to make sure the will of the people is enforced.
Exactly.
Do you think there should be exceptions for rape and incest, for example?
And I think that every state's going to look different. That's
what's
different, Dana.
Doesn't matter.
Is that I've constantly looked, and we rely in South Dakota on the fact that I'm pro-life, and we have a law that says that there is an exception for the life of the mother. And I just don't believe a tragedy should perpetuate another tragedy. I believe in taking care of mothers that are in a crisis situation, and that we should be walking alongside them, giving them all the information and the best information they can make before they have to be put in a situation where an abortion is the only option that they have. So I'll continue to do that and love mothers and families through these situations, recognizing that they are often challenging and scary, and many times they're feeling very alone. And in South Dakota, I hope that that's never our story.
Governor, you are a potential VP contender for Donald Trump. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik and Senator J.D. Vance both have said that if they had been Donald Trump's vice president on January 6, 2021, they would not have certified the election. Would you have?
Oh, my God.
I think you can go back and keep talking about January 6th, but the fact of the matter is that was a day we hope we never see again.
Well, I mean, she's going through all the hits.
Yeah, she is. This is pathetic.
What Dana Bash is doing is, okay, that didn't work. Let me throw this in the mix. Okay, that didn't work. Let me throw this in the mix.
That's exactly what she hasn't gotten her gotcha moment. And that's all these people care about.
Kristi
Noem
is got gotchas on Dana Bash. Well, yeah,
but Dana Bash hasn't gotten it, so she's going to keep. So now January 6th is their Hail Mary.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's
their go-to when nothing else works.
That interview was perfect. And you guys, let us know in the comments what you think. I think Kristi Noem would be a great pick as vice president because she has to do a lot of interviews. She has to do debates.
She's very good.
And Dana Bash is one of the leading liberal attack dogs in the media.
Yeah.
She'd have to go up against these people every day. And she handled herself so well. I was really impressed. I've never seen a long interview with Kristi Noem with somebody that's challenging her like that before. It's the first time I've seen one that long where that happened. And perfection.
I want to talk about this thing real quick because it's on the news at this Columbia University, which is a big liberal university. I'm not sure if Columbia is an Ivy League. I don't think it is, but maybe I'm wrong. There's only 11 or 12 Ivy Leagues.
I think it's considered. That's what the School of Journalism is. It's
I don't know if it's an Ivy League is like Harvard.
If it's not, it's borderline.
And what constitutes an Ivy League? Is it the age of the university?
I went to Trump University.
No, you didn't.
What do I know?
You went to FAU. So I don't like you telling people that. You went to a real good college, so people need to know that.
Trump University is a fine.
Yeah, but you didn't go there.
Kathy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Okay. My degree that I have from Florida Atlantic University, okay, my degree is not even.
You worked hard for that, so
I
you
did.
shouldn't tell people you didn't go there.
I worked so hard for my college degree.
Yeah.
And it's sitting in a filing cabinet. It's not framed or anything. It's in a filing cabinet.
Doesn't matter.
If I had a degree from Trump University, it'd be on the wall in the living room in a massive frame with lights pointed at it for people to see.
Well, it shows you when you're seeing this protest, the police are on TV now saying that Columbia is private property and they're not going to do anything, the cops. They're going to let them protest. You have the pro-Palestinian people protesting, and a big rabbi just came out and told the Jewish students not to go back to school, to leave.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of Jewish people have given money to this university. It's in New York, and it's one of those universities, very expensive. And I'm just curious how the Jewish people feel that have had kids that go here, the alumni that have donated. I still get letters from FSU to donate money. I don't ever do it.
The thing about Columbia, a couple things about Columbia.
Yeah,
they've always hated Jews. I remember when they brought in Ahmadinejad when he was the leader of Iran. They brought him to Columbia.
That's right.
So it's always been a bastion of anti-Semitism. But the thing about
Jewish people let their kids go there.
Well, they shouldn't.
It's crazy.
No one should let their kids go there. But the thing about Columbia University is this: most of the leading people in the mainstream corporate fake news come from Columbia.
That's right.
They recruit
the School of Journalism.
The Columbia School of Journalism is kind of like it's the CIA recruitment for the media.
That's exactly right.
So these anti-Semites that are making it unsafe, they're all into safe spaces unless you're a Jew, right? These are the future anchors of CBS Evening News and all that stuff are these protesters. We are going to take our break. When we get back, there's a lot more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. My name's Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be back right after this.
the must-read book from Secrets of Health that explores the complexities of the battle against cancer, is now available on Amazon. Defeat Cancer Now, unveiling insights on cancer, children, and beyond. This groundbreaking book reveals chilling insights that will change the way you perceive this relentless disease. It's a profound journey into the world of children and beyond. With captivating parables, each one a mysterious key, you'll uncover hidden truths and find hope in the face of life's toughest challenges. Defeat Cancer Now will guide you towards clarity and understanding, offering a beacon of light in the darkness of uncertainty. This book is a great addition to your book club as well as support groups. Defeat Cancer Now, unveiling insights on cancer, children, and beyond is a transformative experience. Order your copy right now on Amazon, available in Kindle and paperback, and start your journey towards healing and hope. Defeat Cancer Now, unveiling insights on cancer, children, and beyond on Amazon. Men, are you tired of looking tired? You can turn your tired eyes into a vibrant and refreshed look with a specially formulated under-eye cream for men at Amazon.com/shops/Meditati. That's MEDITATI. This anti-aging formula is designed to repair and protect your eyes against the common signs of aging. Dark circles, puffiness, and those pesky crow's feet, gone. With Meditati, you'll say goodbye to those tired eyes and hello to a youthful appearance. It's packed with peptides, vitamin C, jojoba oil, green tea, CoQ10, and other essential ingredients. This formula will keep your under eyes bright and refreshed. It also keeps your skin hydrated with the highest quality natural and organic ingredients. It's crafted by skincare experts, and this non-greasy, lightweight formula absorbs quickly and efficiently, nourishing the skin around your eyes. So if you're tired of puffiness and wrinkles, go right now to Amazon.com/shops/Meditati. That's MEDITATI. Don't miss out on this chance to give your eyes the care they deserve, because you and your eyes deserve it. Amazon.com/shops/Meditati. Parents, grandparents, and teachers, enter a world of love and hope with your little ones in the book from author Memi Sira Haidara, The Brightest Star in the Sky. When you read The Brightest Star in the Sky, you'll join Mara, KJ, and King on a heartwarming journey guided by their mother's wisdom and the mysteries of the night sky. Inspired by the author's personal experiences, this tender tale gently explores the theme of coping with difficult emotions, offering young readers a message of comfort and resilience. As the siblings gaze at the twinkling stars, they discover the brightest star, a symbol of everlasting love and connection. Through gentle moments and heartfelt conversations, they learn that love never fades, even when someone they care about is no longer with them. The Brightest Star in the Sky is written with care and sensitivity. It's a touching tribute to love, loss, and the enduring bonds of family. Order your copy right now on Amazon. The Brightest Star in the Sky, from author Memi Sira Haidara, and find solace in the comforting embrace of the brightest star.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. So we were talking about this insanity at Colombia where they're evacuating Jews because it's not safe, which is amazing. If these are peaceful people, why are Jews in danger? Ilhan Omar's daughter got tossed out of Colombia, and she went on MSNBC today and gave an interview.
Do other student groups have this kind of target on their back, or do you feel that you are being targeted because of the fact that it is in solidarity with Palestinians and against what Israel's doing to Palestinians?
Oh, this is 100%.
Now, first off, Israel's not doing anything to Palestine. Israel was attacked by Palestinian terrorists in October in the most barbaric attack we've ever witnessed on civilians. Okay, they are responding to secure Israel and save their citizens from these Palestinian terrorists. But anyway, that's not even on the radar here at MSNBC.
Do other student groups have this kind of target on their back, or do you feel that you are being targeted because of the fact that it is in solidarity with Palestinians and against what Israel's doing to Palestinians?
Oh, this is 100% targeted. Every single protest that we have, there's a group of counter-protesters that bring all of their items, their flags and things like that, and they're not seen as having unsanctioned protests or really receive the kind of disciplinary warnings that many of our fellow organizers receive just for being seen at these protests. And so there is definitely some hypocrisy here, especially you can kind of see it with the students that were sprayed us with the chemical weapons, and the fact that there's no public information as to what happened to them, but rather the university is actively discussing what is happening to the students here and making it a whole public spectacle, rather than when we haven't done anything to physically harm students, whereas those that sprayed those chemical weapons physically harmed students.
Okay. And Ilhan Omar's daughter is wearing like this shawl that's I don't know what this pattern is, but you know that thing that Arafat used to wear? It's that same pattern as the Arafat thing that he used to wear all the time.
So
the scarf.
Why was she specifically like removed from campus? Or
I don't know.
Yeah, this seems set up. I mean, all of a sudden she's on TV doing interviews.
My guess would be that this is her introduction into getting into elected politics.
You know how in the South they have coming out parties for girls when they're 16. That's what's going on here.
Exactly.
She was not targeted. This was planned.
Yeah.
And they did it to put her to now she's extremely well spoken and articulate and very confident for her age. And this is her introduction into the political world. Yeah. Her mom organized this whole thing. Oh, I can promise you this is not an accident.
Oh yeah, they plan on.
I mean, all of a sudden now she's on TV and she's now the spokesperson for this movement. Her mom is who she is. Come on.
What's going to happen with Ilhan Omar's daughter is she's going to end up in Congress. She might. Her mother's in the House. She might end up in the Senate. I'm not talking about next year.
This is all calculated. I can promise you.
She's being groomed for higher office in this country. And
this is the start of it. This is her coming out party.
This is what Obama has done. He has brought millions of people from these weird regions of the world. They brought their weird ways. They have not assimilated, and they're taking over our country like this. And the way you described it's perfect, Kathy. This is Ilhan Omar's daughter coming out, introduction to the world party. Right. And they've been waiting for this moment the whole time she's been in college.
Out of all the kids, she happens to be the one that got kicked out of school. Yeah. And all of a sudden now, and her mom is who she is. Politicians' kids don't get kicked out of schools. Are you especially a school that's so obviously pro-Palestinian? Yeah. Why would they kick her out?
Because they want her to be...
She's the daughter of a famous politician in this country.
She'll probably be the governor or something when she's old enough.
This is all state. And I think they'll end up bringing her back into the school. I don't know if she was expelled or suspended, but they'll bring her back. But this is too convenient. What's happening with her being in this interview. I'm sorry.
Well, the way that Ilhan Omar's daughter's being elevated is the same way John Kerry was. If you remember, John Kerry, was
Pete Buttigieg.
No, John Kerry went to Vietnam, and John Kerry was in Vietnam for 3 months, guys. Okay, 3 months, 3 months longer than me. All right, think about that. I was 4 when Vietnam ended, and he was there 3 months longer than me.
Exactly.
But when he got back here, he got involved in the anti-war protest movement and threw some medals that he claimed were his but weren't over the fence at the White House. And
my gosh.
They used the activism to elevate him, and then all of a sudden
what they're doing here.
He was testifying in front of Congress.
Yes.
So
nobody.
Ilhan Omar's daughter, her next stop, she'll do interviews. Her next stop, she'll be testifying in front of a congressional committee. Probably in the Senate because that's controlled by Democrats, not the House.
See, the way the government is run is almost like the monarchies used to be run in England and stuff. They had arranged marriages, and it was all incestuous, and they would marry their cousins, and then they would hook them up with leaders of other countries to unite. That's what happens here. They want to keep it all this small bubble and keep it all in the family. You know what I'm saying? So now you're seeing the kids of these politicians, the torches being passed to the Kennedys did this. They haven't been as successful now with the grandchildren, obviously, because John passed away. That definitely changed things for them.
Kennedy's Beau Biden.
He would have definitely been the senator and possibly even a president by now. But they want to keep it all in the family and all part of that club. It's no different, like I said, than how they used to run things when the monarchies were ruling Europe.
Yeah. No, this is definitely her coming out. Now, when President Trump, he went to court today, he talked to the press in the beginning. And, I was talking on the morning stream about this. I would really like to see President Trump have an afternoon press conference over at Trump Tower in a more professional press conference setting.
I agree.
The thing at the courthouse, the audio's no good. It's too echoey.
It is.
In the courthouse. It's hard to hear him most of the time, although you can hear him here. And it's not as formal. And I'd like to see him have a press briefing room at Trump Tower.
In front of Trump Tower, yes, every day.
Inside with a podium, kind of like, when he was in the White House, and have an end-of-day trial press conference each and every day.
I agree. And give a play-by-play of what happened.
And as well as what's going on in the world and the country, and have like a formal press conference as opposed to coming out
yelling over across to the press.
And because of what the walls are made out of in the courthouse, it echoes.
I agree. I don't think it's a good look for him. And I think that he needs to set up something more professional where you can hear him.
It'd be very powerful, and people would watch it every day.
Everybody
would be. It'd be better.
That's a good idea.
Everybody, the whole country would stop to hear the press conference at the end of the day by President Trump.
Yeah, he had them during COVID. He could do the same thing here. Have a press conference every day,
and the court's not going to go past 5.
No. Yeah, he could do it at 6:00 every day.
It'd be beautiful. Okay, but he did talk today. This is a little more audible than normal, so I'll play. This is President Trump in front of the courtroom today. These people, you hear that? Where's Melania? They're implying that she's not around.
Maybe she's taking care of their kid who's still at home.
Yeah, exactly. And, hear that guy yelling, where's Melania? They're always trying to cause scandal to fake news.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Donald, where's Melania?
Again, he yells it out.
Thank you very much. I just want to say before we begin, these are all Biden trials. This is done as election interference. Everybody knows it. I'm here instead of being able to be in Pennsylvania and Georgia and lots of other places campaigning. And it's very unfair. Fortunately, the poll numbers are very good. They've been going up because people understand what's going on. This is a witch hunt, and it's a shame. And it comes out of Washington. It's in coordination with Washington, everything, including the DA's office. It's in coordination with Washington. I just want people to understand that this is done for purposes of hurting the opponent of the worst president in the history of our country. Second of all, we have another trial going on right now. That's Letitia James. She campaigned on the fact that I will get Trump. I'm going to get Trump. And it has to do with a bond of $175 million. First of all, she doesn't want me to participate with financial companies in New York. So we have a company, I guess, based in California. It's a bonding company. And I put up $175 million in cash. But she says the bonding company's not good. She doesn't like the bonding company because she doesn't know if the collateral is good. And I put up $175 million in cash, and she's questioning the bonding company. Well, when you put up cash, and the number is 175, which is what we're supposed to be putting up, but I give it in cash, she shouldn't be complaining about the bonding company. The bonding company would be good for it because I put up the money. And I have plenty of money to put up, but nobody's going to be putting up with this. Nobody's going to be listening or coming to New York anymore. Businesses are going to be fleeing because people are treated so badly. It's got to be the most unfriendly place to do business, and that's why businesses are leaving. And people.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing because this story has been going around all weekend. This is what I'm talking about. I wish you would do like a formal press conference,
right?
And duel with the media. It'd be beautiful. It's been floating around for the last 3 days that the bonding company is no good. That Letitia's going to court. She wants the bond tossed. She has her. And then Donald Trump just came out and said, the bond's $175 million. I gave them the cash of $175 million.
Well, they just
have it in their bank.
It just came out that the court that's been accepted.
Yeah, but Letitia,
that it's good, and that's another effort of hers that failed.
But this tells you where Letitia is,
yes.
Right? She, what happened with Letitia James is they didn't go the way she thought. She thought that they were either going to take every penny he had in the bank with that huge, ridiculous amount, or she'd be seizing property. None of that happened, so she's trying to extend the
She
scandal.
had a fantasy of marching down to Trump Tower
and taking it
and putting a lock on the door.
Yeah.
And throwing everybody out or putting a lock on the door and seizing it from Trump.
That's right.
That was her big moment she's been fantasizing about for years in her mind. And, she's probably one of these people that thinks she can manifest things like in The Secret. That doesn't work that way because God is in control, not you. And she probably thought that, she probably has a vision board. Would you be surprised at home?
Yeah.
Of taking down Donald Trump?
Oh, I'd love to see that vision board.
I mean, would you not be surprised if she has one? And it didn't happen. She didn't get her moment in the sun of locking that building and putting a big lock on it. You know how realtors have like locks on doors? And she didn't get that picture in history. She didn't get that moment, and it's killing her. Sorry.
Now, I want to thank all of our Patreon supporters for their support of the program. Your guys' support means a lot, and it helps us out a lot as well. And if you would like to support the program by becoming a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this and every episode on whatever platform you're listening to us on. And there are perks and benefits to that. Patreon supporters have access to commercial-free editions of all of our podcast episodes. And Kathy and I individually post exclusive things on the Patreon page all the time. And one of the perks, our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on each and every podcast episode. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Rick, Nick, Wesley, Macho, Mike P., Carlos, Paulette, John, K-Mac, Alice, Richard, Maria in Texas, David, Heather, LeeZep, Shawna, Constance, George, and Brandon. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you so much to all of you. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.
Are you looking for a new podcast? One that touches your heart and discusses the topics that are on your mind? Then add Pastor to Pastor with host Pastor Jason Watson and Pastor Seth Odom to your podcast playlist. On Pastor to Pastor, they discuss current events, cultural trends, and more, all from a pastor's perspective. Show topics include discussing the Easter festivities at the pastor's churches and exploring the blending of tradition with transformation while avoiding superficiality. Have you ever wondered if you're truly living in tune with your life's purpose? Discover how to amplify your message and lead with authenticity. Should married people like selfie photos from the opposite sex? And that's just the beginning. Share Pastor to Pastor on all your social media so your friends can check out Pastor to Pastor too. Pastor to Pastor is available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and all podcast platforms. Join this journey of faith where every episode will bring you closer to God's Word and deeper into His love. Subscribe now to Pastor to Pastor with Pastor Jason Watson and Pastor Seth Odom on your favorite podcast platform. Are you and your family prepared for the unthinkable? Picture this nightmare scenario where a nuclear catastrophe suddenly strikes. It'll alter life as we know it in an instant. But there's a guide designed to not only arm you with the necessary survival skills, but also to ignite within you the resilience you will need to flourish in a post-apocalyptic era. After the Meltdown from author Jordan Mitchell on Amazon. After the Meltdown from author Jordan Mitchell is a comprehensive wilderness survival guide that is your key to thriving in the face of adversity. In this must-read book, you'll learn how to secure water, food, and shelter in the harshest of environments. Gain practical advice from real-life stories of resilience that will guide you through the toughest situations. Learn how to overcome physical and mental challenges with resilience and ingenuity. Rebuild communities and foster sustainable living. Preserve the environment for future generations, as well as find hope and purpose in even the darkest of times. Don't wait until it's too late. Order your copy of After the Meltdown from author Jordan Mitchell, available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and Kindle Unlimited, and face your future with confidence. After the Meltdown from author Jordan Mitchell, your ultimate survival companion on Amazon. Are you in need of a little encouragement? Are you searching for a spark of intrigue? Could you use a good laugh? Then check out Genesis-Revelation.life. Genesis-Revelation.life is your go-to destination for unique and heartfelt designs that resonate with your spirit. Picture this: thousands of meticulously crafted items, each one with a personal touch, from the whimsical to the profound. The designs at Genesis-Revelation.life cover a wide spectrum, ensuring there's something for everyone. Whether you're drawn to the warmth of Scripture or prefer non-Scripture items, they've got you covered. T-shirts, leggings, totes, headbands, crossbody bags, blankets, journals, napkins, aprons, coasters, drinkware, and that's just the beginning. But what sets Genesis-Revelation.life apart from the rest is simple: a sprinkle of humor, a dash of intrigue, and a layer of comfort. Each design tells a story, seeking to connect with you on a deeper level. In a world that often feels impersonal, Genesis-Revelation.life stands out as a place where every item is designed with heart and soul. Tell your story with these unique designs. Shop now and let your spirit shine. And make sure to share the store on all your social media so your friends can discover Genesis-Revelation.life too. Genesis-Revelation.life, where every design is a connection waiting to happen. Start shopping right now. Genesis-Revelation.life.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. So let me just go through a little bit. Here's an article about today's events in this criminal trial. And, you know, this trial, this is the most crooked judge we've ever seen, right? The daughter, and I got to highlight this. They never highlight this in the mainstream media. Excuse me. The daughter raised, for the Democrats, $100 million on the argument that donate money to Democrats will prosecute Trump. And her dad's the judge. I mean, come on. It's as crooked as it gets.
That is.
But I mean, let's go through this article. Donald Trump's historic hush money trial. First, why would he pay her hush money when she signed a statement saying they didn't have sex? He's trying to hush her up saying they didn't have sex? I don't get it. Prosecutors are laying out whether he hid a $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels to cover up an alleged affair. We detailed that earlier. Michael Cohen put through his billing and expense reports, and it was not itemized with this in it, and Trump just paid it. Okay? The Trump legal team is telling jurors how they'll defend President Trump. Over the weekend, it was reported that David Pecker from the Inquirer will be the prosecutor's first witness.
Yes.
David Pecker is set to testify about the National Enquirer's scheme to bury negative stories about Trump and publish stories criticizing his opponents. You know,
like the media doesn't do that. Give me a break.
Yeah.
The press do that every day. You don't think the Washington Post, look what they did with Hunter Biden. They didn't even investigate him. And they totally squashed all those stories and everything while they're attacking Don Jr. and Trump's kids for nothing.
Exactly.
You don't think the media doesn't do that crap every day of their life? They squash every story that attacks Biden, and they make up things about Trump.
Now, a couple things
What a
about this
joke.
David Pecker guy at the Inquirer, okay? There's two things. One, I talked about this morning on the stream that I'll recap. The National Enquirer are always collecting stories. They pay for stories, and then they file them away, and they don't print them. And the reason they do that, I've been following the Inquirer since I was a little kid.
Yep.
I always liked the Inquirer. And I remember when Geraldo had his daytime talk show on, he used to have Mike Walker from the Inquirer on in studio all the time.
Yeah, I remember Mike Walker.
And there were some scandals that were going on.
He was good.
I remember watching him on during the Mike Walker used to be like the editor, the head guy at the Inquirer.
Yes.
Like in the 80s and 90s. And during the William Kennedy Smith rape trial, Mike Walker was on TV doing a live interview. Geraldo was interviewing him. This is before the internet. And Mike Walker had a telephone on his lap. And he was waiting for breaking news during the live interview from his reporter at Palm Beach. I love the Inquirer. The Inquirer, though, it's a weekly gossip magazine. You just subscribe to it again.
I just subscribe to it again.
I have always enjoyed the Inquirer.
See, I have the Apple News app, which is awesome. It's like $10 a month, and it gives you access to like every digital magazine and lots of newspapers, but they don't have the Inquirer on there. You can get like People, you can get all the gossip magazines, which I love and I read. But the Inquirer is not part of that.
Inquiry minds want to know.
I subscribe to it.
The Inquirer has kept themselves out of the digital realm, but the Inquirer buys stories that they don't print for two reasons, okay? One of them is they buy stories and then file them away for slow news weeks, and then they'll go in their files and pull out something, okay? They do that all the time because not every week is a big week for celebrity gossip, so they do that a lot. The other reason they do this, there's a third reason too, but the second reason they buy stories that they don't use is they buy those stories so that down the road, they could use those stories to get someone to give them an interview. Like this thing, buying up this story with the Playboy girl, right, with Trump. What they'll do, they buy a story like that so that down the road, they want an interview with Trump or somebody close to Trump, and they say, hey, you do this interview, we'll agree never to run this story.
And Brian, by
you understand
the way,
what I mean? They do that with movie stars too. I've read about it many times over the years.
By the way, every publication does this.
Yes.
Every media outlet does this. Page 6, all the gossip, In Touch, all of the gossip magazines do this. CNN, the Huffington Post.
Yes.
This is part of journalism. It's the sleazy side of journalism. They all do it. They hold a story and then they come back with it years later. I got this dirt on you. It's the J. Edgar Hoover style of journalism, I guess. Of course, he was with the FBI, but you know what I mean? And they say, you know what? I got a file on you. I got a story on you. If you don't want me to go with it, then you're going to do this in return.
That's right.
They all do it.
That's the main reason they buy stories that they don't run with.
In case they need them later.
They use some of these stories to get bigger stories. So,
right.
And I have heard many times I've heard them say they've gotten interviews or exclusive secrets from a movie star because they wouldn't run this story about them. This other story they have of them throwing up on some woman they're not married to in the back of a car.
That's exactly right.
You know?
That's exactly right because everybody's connected and it's a very small world. And there's like 3 degrees of separation in Hollywood and in Washington. So they figure, you know what? I got this dirt on this guy. 10 years, this guy who's like a B actor. Well, 5 or 10 years from now, he might be an A-list star, and he's not going to want this to come out. And then he'll give me an exclusive. I mean, that's what they do.
So this story with the Playboy, you know, and by the way, Playboy bunnies are sex workers too. They're just on the higher end of it. Okay, they're a little more articulate and prettier most of the time than not anymore. Than your neighborhood strip club. Yeah,
it's not like the Barbie Benton days.
Yeah, I agree. The one just because.
Or the Dorothy Stratton days.
So that's why they buy these stories that they don't use. They use them
exactly
for filler on slow news periods, and they also use them to get bigger interviews and bigger stories. And the National Enquirer, a lot of people don't know this. We know because we live here in Florida. For most of its existence, has been based right out of Palm Beach, where Mar-a-Lago is. And many years ago, like back in the 80s, the National Enquirer headquarters was here. It was in actually Lake Worth, Florida, which is in Palm Beach County, not far from Mar-a-Lago, about 15 minutes from Mar-a-Lago. And they used to put up an entire Christmas village at the National Enquirer headquarters, and they had this 50-foot Christmas tree.
It was awesome.
And people would drive hours away to go to the National Enquirer Christmas village.
I went
and see the
year.
Christmas tree. Yeah, I used to go too.
I remember when I was a senior in high school, I was like, or maybe, I think it was when I was a senior, it was the last year of the Lantana tree. It was in Lantana, Florida, and that's where the Enquirer was located. And they put up a huge tree, like you said, a village. It was amazing. I went every year.
Yeah, I used to go too.
From the time I was like 7 or 8 till it ended when I was about 18. Everybody went. It was a big deal.
Yeah. So the Enquirer has a lot of contacts here in Palm Beach because of their decades of existence down here. And there's a third reason they buy stories like this too. The guy might like Donald Trump, and he can.
And he's his friend.
And he's his friend, and he just did it. You know, and that's
which is his prerogative.
Exactly. You know, people buy exclusive rights to stories all the time. You know, it's not nothing scandalous.
Look what Joe Scarborough does every day. He has probably texts and talks to Biden. They're best friends all day long, every night before the show, maybe even in the morning before the show. You don't think he's tailoring what he says based on what Joe Biden says? That this is the way it is. So I don't see what they're trying to prove, I guess, is that there was a conspiracy here and that they used campaign money to squash this story. But I don't understand what they think they're going to get out of this National Enquirer Dr.
Kathy,
Pepper guy.
I just got a text message just a little bit ago from a guy who's running for Congress. I get text message on my cell phone, not even an email. When you're in media, you get contacted by politicians all the time.
Yes.
And I get contacted all the time by elected officials and people running for office. And they all got a story they want to tell me about who they're running against and what a scumbucket they are in some scandal.
Right.
This is how it is when you're in media. There's no scandal here, you know, with this guy, with this. The only scandal is his name.
What are they trying?
Can you imagine living with that name? Now, I wanted to share
well,
this
if you're
with
a girl, it'd be really bad.
I did an amazing stream over the weekend with Tucker Carlson in the thumbnail about the deep state coup on my YouTube channel, which you guys should go and watch, okay? Deep state coup, and it's got Tucker Carlson in the thumbnail. I saw just a clip of a guy who was a guest on Tim Pool's very boring show. Mm-hmm. Tim Pool's show's terminal, guys. Am I the only one who thinks that? You know, I used to watch Tim Pool a few times a week when he did these quick, like 5 to 10 minute pieces on the news. And then when he did away with that, he does this many hours long podcast with guests. I really don't like that. It's terminal. It's boring. It seems to be mostly about him and personal conflicts. But he had a guy on the other day, and I saw a clip on a YouTube short with this guest from Tim Pool. And I don't know who the guy was or when exactly he was on Tim Pool's show. But he brought up something. It was just a quick mention because it was a YouTube short. It was like 10 seconds. And he mentioned something about J. Edgar Hoover that I'd never heard before. And it explains so much about J. Edgar Hoover. He was talking about how J. Edgar Hoover would blackmail people. And that's how he stayed director of the FBI for so long.
He had dirt on everybody.
But he said J. Edgar Hoover was also being blackmailed. Oh. And, you know, J. Edgar Hoover not only was rumored to be gay, he was gay. In fact, he is buried with that guy that was his assistant all those years that he worked with at the FBI. They're buried together. Yeah. So they were a couple, okay? And that was a big deal back then. Guys, big deal. Yeah, for big sure. Deal, you know. And this is what this guy said that was on with Tim Pool. And it was just a quick thing, YouTube short, 5-10 seconds, but it explained like so much. So he said that J. Edgar Hoover was blackmailing everybody, and that's how he stayed in power and all this stuff. But he was being blackmailed, too, by the mafia. And the mafia, he says, if you look, he says the heyday and the peak of the mafia was when J. Edgar Hoover was director of the FBI. And then the short ended. And I'll tell you, I wanted to add something to that. I've never thought about that. And I want to start doing some research into this.
Blackmailed or bribed?
Blackmailed. And this guy didn't get into it. He's a young guy. He doesn't know the whole thing. You and I were around during the Hoover times. We were little babies, but we grew up during this Hoover-obsessed era. The the mafia were blackmailing J. Edgar Hoover about outing him as gay, which would have gotten him probably put in prison back in those days. And J. Edgar Hoover...
Oh, he definitely would have lost his job.
You know, J. Edgar Hoover very publicly had the most bizarre position on the mafia. It was insane. J. Edgar Hoover's position was organized crime does not exist in America. He said that all the time.
Isn't that like when Biden said Antifa doesn't exist?
Exactly. And he always said that organized crime does not exist in America.
Yeah, just flat out lying.
And the heyday and peak of the mafia was when he was alive. And then after he got old and then died, that's when those big roundups started happening of the Donnie Brasco era
so
and all that stuff.
Them.
That was after, yes, because he was being blackmailed by the FBI over his homosexuality, which would have been in those days, even in the 70s when he died, that was a big deal.
So he, in turn,
it's just a theory, but I think it makes a lot of sense.
Blackmailing people to maintain his job because he had to maintain his job so he wouldn't get exposed.
Yeah, and the mafia was allowed to grow and thrive because they were going to they were blackmailing him on being gay.
Did you see that movie about him?
There's been a couple movies about him.
Did you see the DiCaprio one? Was it good? I never saw it.
Yeah, it was a little.
I think he was a little young to play him,
a little young and too surface. But this new thing about J. Edgar Hoover, it just really got me thinking.
Yeah.
And this guy didn't say anything about him being gay or anything. That's because I guess that's not politically correct anymore. But, that explains everything about Hoover and why the mob.
How long was he in charge of the FBI line?
Oh, from its beginnings until he died in the 70s. So forever. He was there.
Like 40 years?
He was there before it was an FBI. He was running the I can't remember what they called it before the FBI, but he was back there like in the 30s all the way up till the 70s.
Yeah.
And that is just like blew me away. Now, listen, we have got to tell you about these great deals at MyPillow.com. And, we have so many of these great MyPillow products, and we have bought them all because the deals are so good. Mm-hmm. All but one of them we bought with our promo code Kane because the first one was our first MyPillow. They weren't with us yet. We didn't have the promo code yet. Okay? And I remember, Kathy, I used to really have a hard time sleeping, and I wanted to get the MyPillow, and I saw the commercials on TV. And I thought, whatever, and because
it was around for a while before we bought it.
I had tried many pillows. I had foam pillows.
That's true.
Bamboo. Yeah, the bamboo pillow was like $200.
Yeah, I remember
I tried everything.
Yes,
and
that's true.
I just couldn't get a good night's sleep. And then you got me one of the MyPillows just before we had the promo code, and I slept on that one night, and I was like, oh my, I can't believe.
Yeah.
It's everything that Mike Lindell says.
Yeah.
That patented fill inside makes it so that your head and neck rest comfortably and don't move. You don't turn your head or neck all night long. So you get a well-rested sleep. And then I remember my mother was staying over at the house. This was a few Christmases ago. I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 Christmases ago now. And she was staying the night on Christmas Eve. And it came time to go to bed. And my mom says, I want to sleep on one of those MyPillows you're always talking about on the radio. So we gave her one of my MyPillows, and my mother is not one to throw out, like a lot of mothers. She doesn't throw out compliments to her son too much. Okay, that's just how she is. She doesn't throw out compliments to me too much. And I was expecting my mom to get up and just her to excuse it, whatever. She got up the next morning and she was raving about that MyPillow. She says that MyPillow is everything you said it was. I've never heard so many compliments from my mother. About
your whole life.
Oh my goodness. And so of course we got her one, and she still talks about that MyPillow.
It's a great gift if you have older parents, especially if they're like in nursing homes, which probably don't have the most comfortable beds or pillows, or I've taken my pillow to the hospital. I go to if you know somebody like me that's disabled and is in the hospital quite a bit, it's nice to have to take with you because the hospital pillows are horrible. I mean, they are like flat. I mean, I don't know how they can even call those pillows. Yeah, it's insane. I always bring my MyPillow.
I'm taking a MyPillow on the cruise.
Yeah.
And, and I'm sure, I don't know if our daughter is because she's coming here from California for the cruise. Maybe she'll borrow one of ours to take. But the MyPillow is everything Mike Lindell says it is and more.
And you said they have nice pillows on the cruise, but the MyPillows are better.
On the cruise, because our cruise line, Celebrity's a luxury cruise line, they have a pillow menu where they have all these luxury pillows. And I've tried them all. They all suck.
Yeah.
And these are the best
Compared
pillows
to
in the
MyPillow,
world.
yeah.
Well, once you have the MyPillow, you'll never sleep on another pillow again.
It's really amazing.
But you can use our promo code Kane, Kane, not just on the MyPillows, but everything at MyPillow.com. There's huge specials going on right now. And remember, every time you buy something with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, you're supporting this program and all of the content I bring you, the podcast, the radio show, my YouTube channel, and everything else. So go to MyPillow.com, get a great night's sleep every night for the rest of your life, and support the program by using our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. All right, we're out of time for today, but we will be back next time. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll talk to you next time.